This week celebrates the centenary of the national park system in the United States. Utah is home to 5 of them, including Zion and Bryce, the most national parks of any state. These parks are renowned for their beautiful red rocks, mountains, canyons, and arches that seem to defy physics as they rise above the ground. Over the past summer, I spent 11 days in southern Utah, recording the unbelievable natural beauty that surrounded me. For the first week, I stayed in the State Park of Snow Canyon, which is within driving distance of Zion. Though it is not a national park, Snow Canyon is still gorgeous, with enormous crimson mountains at every turn. Some of the most incredible sights I saw in the state were driving on a lonely road through this park for hours on end, surrounded by geological beauty. These mountains and rocks are definitely at their most beautiful near sunset, where the fading light seems to set the Navajo sandstone on fire. When the trails are empty, you feel like the only living person standing in an empty other world. One of the most popular locations in Zion is the Narrows, a thin trail between large, shadowy walls of rock. For almost the entire distance, the trail dips deep underwater in an icy cold river which hikers must wade through. The experience can be very uncomfortable and even dangerous, mostly due to the hazard of flash floods, but it is ultimately very enjoyable and memorable. For the last 2 days of my trip, we stayed at Bryce Canyon, where the geological formations are possibly even more staggering. The 36,000-acre labyrinth seemed to descend forever, almost to the center of the earth, for no matter how deep we went, there seemed to be miles more of red rock tunnels and spires. These sharp, tower-like formations of rock are called hoodoos, and were sculpted over millions of years by water, ice, and gravity. They seem supernatural, and in fact the word hoodoo comes from the same origin as the word voodoo. There is an area of Bryce known as the Silent City, which is a fitting name for the entire park. At the rim of the canyon, which is actually not a canyon at all but a large natural amphitheater, the considerable altitude makes it somewhat hard to breathe, and walking back up after you've descended can be very tiring. The steepness of these natural roads into the amphitheater can also make it hard to balance, especially if you're holding a camera in one hand. The reason that the rocks are red is because of the rusty iron oxide and hematite, the mineral that binds the sand and mud to create the formations. In the Jurassic period, all of Utah was a vast desert. Now, millions of years later, erosion has turned it into one of the most stunning, unique, and unforgettable landscapes on the face of the earth.